Not even in hell, by user moist_quality 2225. So, I'm 61 years old, retired, and I live alone. By virtue of being 61 and retired, the garden where I used to grow my $&s has been paved over. So, one summer's day, I'm at my local mall looking for a coffee pot. I broke my old one. Now, I am wearing a spotty folk festival t-shirt, camo shorts, and naked feet in Birkenstocks. Very managerial. LOL. So, I'm in some shop or another looking at the coffee pots. I hear raised voices a couple of aisles over. A woman's voice screaming words like lazy, and you rude brat, etc. A quiet male voice was trying to be heard and failing dismally. So, I go to the aisle. As I round the corner, I see a young guy in his mid-teens, very well appointed in his summer clothes, with an anorexic gorgon screaming into his face. Then she upped with her hand and slapped the kid in the face. As he stood there in shock, manfully not crying, she sees me and comes charging over, grabs me by the arm and drags me to the kid, yelling something about fired and lazy, you're his manager, and other nonsense I didn't pay attention to. In the midst of the tirade, I turned to young guy, winked and mouthed play along. You see, I've been listening to these things for a while, and I've got a response ready. Oh, please let her give me a cue. And she does. She goes on and on about shop workers lying about not working there because they're lazy, etc. Jackpot. So I say, ma'am, do shop workers often lie to you to avoid serving you? Her, all the time. Kids are so lazy today. That was the gist of it, but there was more screaming and spit. Me, ma'am, I don't think that's laziness. I think it's because you're such an arrogant, ignorant %H, the devil himself wouldn't have you in hell. When you put your 2 feet to the floor in the morning, the devil says, oh God, she's up. She looks like she's the one who got slapped. For the minute, she says nothing. I turn to the kid, smile, and say, and now we enjoy the show. She starts buzzing around the lights. There's screaming, spit flying, things getting thrown off shelves, the whole 9 yards. Me and the kid had to dodge a few flying objects. I just kept encouraging the kid, and Diet Medusa's tantrum, by making comments like ooh. Good one. And Mrs. isn't much of a pitcher, is she? Did I mention that my garden has been paved over? By this time, a manager and a couple of security guards have arrived, and she has worked herself into a total lather. Well, okay, I helped, but she did most of the work herself. There is nothing sensible coming out of her at this point, just screeches and spit. I tell them what I saw, and the kid confirmed it and fills in the rest. How she had thought he worked there, wouldn't believe that he didn't, and had slapped him. Off we went to see the security footage. So the cops were called, she was fitted for steel bracelets, and I encouraged the kid to call his parents. They decided to press charges. I found out later that she was sent for a psych eval and ended up in a psychiatric hospital for a couple of months. And I got to feel all supportive of a younger brother. We guys gotta have each other's backs. Defused a Karen today, by user chart_debris. Was wandering through a different brand of big box hardware store as I am spending the weekend away from home for work and heard the wind up of the turbo for a Bitch-O-Matic 5000. The growing in loudness, I can't believe how unhelpful everyone is, why people won't do their jobs, how hard is it to blah blah blah, etc. Normally this would be my cue to nope on out of the area, but I don't have anything better to do. I casually walked by to see what the actual F was going on, and this woman with a cart loaded up with flooring tiles is complaining to this young lady who might have been 85 pounds soaking wet about her not taking the woman's cart out to her car and loading it in. The young woman is trying to tell her that she will call someone over to help, but Karen is not listening. I am pretty much free to do whatever I want, so I asked her if I could help. Karen refuses and starts to insist that it's this poor girl's problem. I mentioned that I don't mind helping, and as long as it gets done, why would she care that who does it? Q angry, I can do it. She pushed her crap out the door, and as I drove away she was loading her own shit into her own car just like a normal person. And I still don't work there. I will never work here, lady, by user Full Metal Warrior 2. For context, this story takes place today. I don't, never have, or never will work at the place that this story takes place at. I have worked at a place like it, in my past. There was no reason for this story to happen. Involved in this story are 5 people. OP, me. Rumi, my roommate. Karen, Mr. Rude, rude employee. Manager, Manager. Early this afternoon, I was at a Wendy's, getting lunch with my roommate, when Karen walked in to order her food. The woman was a heifer. She looked to be about 5 and 265 pounds. Rude woman pushed past us, as we were trying to order our meal, only to be told by the manager. Manager, ma'am, I am going to ask you, nicely, to please use the register next to this one, so this couple can order their meal. The rude woman looked at us and gave a harumph, before turning to me and my roommate and going off on a tangent. Karen, shouldn't you two be behind the counter? You two are wasting your co-workers' time, by ordering food. Note, neither me, nor my roommate were wearing anything that could be confused with Wendy's uniforms. Roomie and OP, excuse me? Do I look like I are wearing a Wendy's uniform? Note, I was wearing my AC/DC t-shirt and a brand new pair of camouflage pajama bottoms, and my roommate was wearing a Home of the Brave t-shirt and a pair of blue jeans. Karen, I don't care. Get back there and help your coworkers. You can eat, after your shift. Manager, ma'am, quit harassing my customers, or I will ask you to leave. Mr. Rude, to Karen, come here and I will take your order. Karen, to Mr. Rude, no. This isn't about who takes my order. This is about how manager here is willing to serve his employees before actual customers. This is called favoritism. It is bad business. Manager, I can assure you that neither of these two works here. And, even if they did, I would serve them over you, any day. I want you gone, in the next 5 seconds, or the cops will be called. Karen left, without her food. Roomie and I got our meal for 60% off. That was the best baconator, sour cream and chive baked potato, junior bacon cheeseburger, and 6-piece chicken nuggets with ranch, that I ever ate. It was the best vanilla Dr. Pepper, without ice ever drank. So a green apron isn't the same as red apron, by user remarkable_form_6725. So I own an artisan specialty trade business, clock repair, that is directly across the street from Ace, a general hardware store. Super convenient for us, as we often need a specific attachment, or paint, or stain, etc. I was over there frequently, and as a general hardware store geeky guy, I wandered through frequently. One day I was there shopping in my green apron. Ace employees wear bright red, when an older lady stopped and asked nicely where item X was. Since she did ask nicely, and I knew where it was, I went ahead and escorted her 2 aisles over. Well, it didn't stop there, she then asked about item Y, and again 1 aisle over, so I went ahead and showed her. Now she asked about niche item Z, to which I replied, now we'll have to get an employee to come over and help you, as I'm not sure about that one. So, her true Karen now came out. How can you not know where everything is in the store? Me, because I don't work here. Karen now snaps at me, but you're wearing an apron. Me, yes, in dark green instead of bright red. Karen, incredulous and indignant at the same time, then why did you help me? Me, because my mama taught me to be polite. A class I think you might have happened to miss. At which point, the store manager hustles up, we greet each other by first name, as I said, I'm a regular, and since he could hear Banshee Karen screeching at me from halfway across the store, he apologizes to me. I share with him with a relieved grin that she looking for widget Z, and with great relief, went on my way. Well, Karen wasn't done and demanded I get fired. To which the store manager, himself kinda a quiet guy, explained to her. Again, I didn't work there, I had only been nice to her to try and help answer a question. I must give off animal professional vibes, by user lesbian lady night. There's this one specific Petco that I only go to very occasionally, when I need dog supplies urgently and I happen to be nearby this shopping center. The last 2 times I've been there I only bought 1 bag of kibble. Both times I got stopped by someone asking me where random thing they wanted was. The first time they asked me where the dog food was and I pointed them to it because I had literally just left that section. I am also a professional dog trainer, so it's true I am very comfortable in pet store environments faced with tears of joy. Today some lady wanted to know why all the animal cages were empty. There was a sign on all the cages notifying people the location is no longer selling live animals, but I guess this lady couldn't bother to read it. I kinda just stared at her. I just worked a full brunch shift at a restaurant and was pretty exhausted, until she backtracked and asked, "Do you work here?" And I was like, "No, I'm just buying this food." Then she tried to have her teenage son help me carry my dog food, I guess as some form of apology. I had to practically shake him off to carry my own purchase to the counter. Then the kid started squeaking all the dog toys in the toy aisle while I was checking out. The poor cashier was so done. Weird shopping trip.